Let's try this again. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Mark Twain D.A.R.E graduation. I'd like to start off by thanking the Miamisburg City Schools, the City of Miamisburg, and the Miamisburg Police Department for all their support of the D.A.R.E program, because without it today wouldn't be possible. I'd also like to thank all the parents and relatives that were able to join us today. I had a great time working with your kids this year. They did a great job, and you should be very proud of them, because I know I am. I'd also like to thank the 4th grade students who are with us today. I look forward to seeing you guys next year in D.A.R.E classes. Just a brief summary of some of the things we talked about in D.A.R.E class this year. We talked about the dangers of alcohol and tobacco. We talked about making good decisions and defeat peer pressure. We talked about bullying, and we talked about how to be safe with over-the-counter prescription drugs. Once again, it's a 10-week class. They all completed a workbook. They all completed the D.A.R.E report. And once again, they all did a great job. The goal, though, is for you guys to take some of the information we talked about this year, though, and use it. Especially as you guys get into middle school and high school and encounter some of the difficult situations we talked about. I'd like to take a moment now to introduce our guests that have joined us today to congratulate you on your accomplishments. We have from the City of Miamisburg, the Mayor, Dick Church. From Miamisburg City Council, we have Councilmember Charlie Case. From the Miamisburg Municipal Court, we have Judge Robert Reddick. And also the Clerk of Courts, Darren Preston. From the Miamisburg Police Department, we have Captain Tom Thompson. From the Miamisburg City Schools, we have your Superintendent, Dr. David Vale. And of course, you all know your principal, Mrs. Lieberman. And some of our guests would like to say a few words to you, and we'll begin with Mayor Church.
Good afternoon. Are you ready for vacation? It's getting there, very close. You know, for 21 years we've been doing this D.A.R.E program. And as I say each year, and I really mean it, it's the best thing, in my opinion, that the City of Miamisburg and the Miamisburg Board of Education does together. And I hope that you have learned a lot these past 10 weeks from Officer Doug. Officer Doug does a very good job. 7 schools and approximately 350 youngsters. That's a lot of classes, and that's a lot of people that we're trying to get the message out. Also, I want to point out that this is being televised by the Miami Valley Communications Council. You can watch this a lot of times between now and the next Mark Twain graduation. Channel 5 on Time Warner. You know, we do a lot of strange things as adults. We spend a lot of money, a lot of time to tell you the bad things about drinking, smoking, and using drugs. And then at the same time, we got people out there trying to put marijuana on the ballot to legalize. Now to me, that's sending a mixed message to our children. You have enough obstacles in front of you as it is. We don't need to add more. So I hope, first of all, I hope that never gets on the ballot. Secondly, if it does, I hope our voters are wise enough to vote it down. We don't need legalized marijuana. Now, there is a side to that. Some people need that for when they have ailments that it might help. That could be done by the state legislature, just by passing of a legislation for medicinal purposes only. But anyway, let's hope it doesn't get on the ballot. And the one thing I want to leave you with, one of these days, you are going to be challenged. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, It might be 5, 10 years from now. But you will be challenged by someone that's going to try to get you to do something that you know is wrong. And I hope that you'll remember the lessons learned in D.A.R.E. and tell that person, I'm not doing that. You shouldn't be doing it, but you're not going to get me into that situation. And if you say no, I can guarantee you're going to have a great rest of your life. Have a great summer. Thank you.
Next, we have Judge Ray.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank particularly the parents for attending this. It means a whole lot to me because when I see defendants, I don't see parents. So if you're here, it certainly helps. And I want to tell the fourth grade, pay attention when you're in D.A.R.E. next year, because I find it to be an excellent program. Miamisburg's done it for 21 years, and I honestly think it makes a difference. As the mayor said, you're going to be challenged at some point. It probably won't be in the hard light of day under these fluorescent lights. It'll be night somewhere. It'll be in a basement or a car. It'll be night. Somebody's going to turn to you and ask you to do something that in your heart of hearts you know is wrong. And I want you to use what your parents have taught you, what Officer Doug has taught you, and perhaps even the D.A.R.E. decision-making model to say no. To do what you know in your heart of hearts to be the right thing. And it's been my experience that the hard thing is normally the right one. If it's easy, it's probably the wrong one. So do the hard thing, say no, and don't use any drugs. Heroin has become epidemic across the nation, but particularly here in the Miami Valley. The mayor speaks at every D.A.R.E. graduation. He's done it since, I think, for the whole time he's been here. I don't know about 21 years, but he speaks at all of them. I looked out at one of the first graduations I went to this year, and there was a boy there in the 5th grade whose father went to prison for drugs, heroin. And since he's been out, he's been resuscitated with Narcan. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to start talking about heroin to the 5th grade because it's already here. Heroin will kill you. Don't do heroin. If somebody tries to get you to do heroin, run. It is killing people. Over the Memorial Day weekend, it killed 14 people. They're calling it toe tag. It's just terrible. Don't do heroin. I'm not trying to say do other drugs. They're probably extremely poor too. But heroin just will take your life. I don't want to turn this into a sad thing. This is a great day. You got one more day of school left. You got your awards today. You're graduating from D.A.R.E. And I want to leave you with, have a great summer. All right?
Captain Thompson.
So tomorrow's you guys' last day of school. You're excited. You know who's more excited than you guys? Your parents. Because they get to have you home all day, every day, to just love on you from dawn till dusk. My kids are now all grown and moved out of the house and everything. And so my house is like quiet and there's no clutter and it's really boring. So they're going to enjoy you guys. The mayor said D.A.R.E.'s been around for 21 years. And I actually was working here when D.A.R.E. first began. And I've told some of the classes this, but I think Officer Doug was one of the first D.A.R.E. students. He was like 8 when he started. Who believes that? That means he's like 29 right now. The darn full head of hair. Yeah, very handsome. Yep. 29-ish. So, Officer Doug and I speak almost every morning, and he cares very, very much about interacting with you guys, what he teaches you. He takes his job with you guys very serious. And Officer Doug's he is an extremely good police officer. We miss him being on the street because he treats people right. He catches a lot of people that are not being very nice to others. Very, very smart, good investigator, but it just means that you guys are very, very lucky to have him around. So the things that he's telling you, pay very close attention to, because he's had a lot of years knowing what things hurt people. And so when he tells you about the D.A.R.E decision-making model and these other things, he really knows what he's talking about. He's a good guy. Very cool, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, the judge talked to you a little bit about drugs, and everything he said is dead on true. And I'll talk to you real briefly about something else you guys spoke about, and that's bullying. And every single one of you guys, you have to remember, not one of you is more important than anybody else. You're all very, very important young people. And being so, you have to really make sure that you're treating each other with respect, because if you come to school every day and you're upset because someone's going to pick on you, it's not very fun to go to school that way. You don't learn very well. You have a hard time at home. So in order to make sure everybody does the best they can, you really need to treat people right. And one of the things that people think of when they think of bullying, they think of like punching somebody in the mouth or knocking them down or stealing their lunch money or something like that, right? I mean, the obvious signs of physically bullying. But also, what you say to people can be very hurtful, because you guys have heard the line, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me," right? You guys heard that before? But that's not true, because names actually do hurt. Because I can remember things that people said to me back when I was you guys' age. And if I dwell on it, it still kind of makes me grumpy. So, I mean, it's very, very important that you guys are treating each other right, you're talking to each other right. And also, police officers, if somebody is mistreating somebody else, we're paid to step in and make sure that that doesn't happen, that people get treated fairly and they don't get victimized or abused. But you guys have the same power to do the same thing. You have the ability to tell somebody, hey, you can't talk to them like that. You got to be nice to them. That's not right the way you're acting. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can go talk to an adult or somebody else that can remind them that it's important to treat people right. So, guys, enjoy your summer. Have a lot of fun with your parents. And congratulations.
And Dr. Fay.
Certainly is an honor for me to be here for part of this graduation ceremony for you. I know when the mayor asked you if you're excited for summer vacation, I think the teachers may have yelled at the students a little bit there. And I didn't see any of the parents back there clapping at all. So, but again, it is an honor for me to represent the school district on behalf of the administration and the Board of Education. I certainly want to congratulate you on completing this program. It certainly is a great stepping stone for you in your life. You've had a lot of teachers growing up. The first group of teachers is sitting behind you, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, and your guardians and your support staff there. They taught you right from wrong, good from bad. And then you got to school, and you have your teachers here who are experts in English and social studies and math and science, and they taught you what they knew. They were experts there. And now Officer Sherritt, as part of our staff, is teaching you about D.A.R.E. And that's certainly a vital part of your education, a very important part. And as you go on in middle school next year, and then high school, and then on into your lives and careers, remember those choices, the decision-making models that you talk about, and continue to make those choices. They talked about support staff. You've got another support group right here, each other. You've been through the program before. And when you have problems, when you have concerns, go to one another if you're not sure and say, listen, what do we learn there? What do we learn growing up? And then certainly be there to help you and support you. So we wish you the best of luck. Have a great summer and a great year in middle school next year. Take care.
The last things that students do in the D.A.R.E program is, like I said before, they write a D.A.R.E report, and each one sitting here with a t-shirt on completed that task. Not only did they write a report, but they have to get up in front of their classmates and read that report. And we've selected a few of those to be read to you today, and we'll begin with Abby Moore.
Have you ever heard of D.A.R.E? Ever wondered what it was? If so, you're in luck. The D.A.R.E program is a program in which students learn what not to do, such as drugs or smoking, and if asked to have these things, how to respond. It is part of the 5th grade curriculum and teaches us how to deal with bullying, peer pressure, stress, and how to communicate in situations portraying possible real-life examples of such things. Each lesson teaching us of these things helps us to get ready for life later on when these things play a major role in our lives so we can make the right, responsible choice. One of the lessons learned was about the notorious bullying. This lesson goes over the topics of how to react when you see someone getting bullied and how to react when you are getting bullied. Make sure you report it either way. There are 5 things you should know and say when reporting the bullying to an adult. Who's getting bullied? Where did it happen? When did it happen? What happened? Why did it happen? We call those the 5 W's for apparent reasons. Now, I have never been bullied. However, I have helped a friend put an end to hers. She was and still is my best friend. It was on the bus with 3 people in the seat: the bully, me, and my friend. I was always in the middle. The bully lied to my friend, saying that she, the bully, was a scary demon and actually tried to bite her. This had broken my friend down to tears, which had really made me furious. And the bully even lied to me, claiming that it was a joke and that it would be okay. Trying to bite someone isn't a joke, nor is it okay. After telling the bully to stop with all the confidence I had, I comforted my friend so she would feel better and stop crying. Another lesson we went over was about peer pressure. In this lesson, we went over the proper ways of responding to it and dealing with it. Don't just say no. Avoid the situation by staying away from areas with suspected drug use and abuse, or where there is smoking. Say no and give a reason, or change the subject. No, dude, I'd get grounded for life. Or, nah, let's go catch a movie. But if you want to be sure you won't get pressured, say no and walk away. This doesn't give them a chance to pressure you to use the drugs or to smoke the cigarette. If I had known this information prior to when I had encountered peer pressure, I might have been able to turn down the senseless and foolish challenges my friend found on the internet and pressured me into doing. Since I don't usually like to say no, I just went along with it. The final lesson I will tell you about is the stress lesson. We learned how to deal with stress and how to release it. You can and probably should always talk to a friend or trusted adult about what you're feeling, as they are most likely going to give you some advice or perhaps comfort you and help you release it. Get out and exercise to release some stress, as it is an excellent way. I have been stressed plenty of times to the point where I don't need to figure out what I can and should do. I just know. My parents argue from time to time, which really stresses me out far more than anything else usually does. It always hits me like a wall when they threaten divorce. This had happened with my friend, the one who I helped end the bullying, was over. My mom told me that they were most likely going to get a divorce, but thankfully they didn't. This really sank my heart at the time, but my friend comforted me and told me that even though it was hard when they get a divorce, after some time it's not too terrible. Her parents are divorced, and she's just like me all the time. Because of this, I feel like talking to someone about your feelings is a great way to release the stress. Now, I know you may be thinking, so what? I already know what to do, what not to do, and how to respond. Well, my dear friend, one day you won't be as responsible. One day you might think that smoking or doing drugs is in. One day you'll get bullied, and you'll need to know how to report it so you can stop it. I don't know how long you will get bullied, but it'll happen, even to me. But that's okay. That's why we have D.A.R.E. So here's the cycle. Bullying left unreported can lead to peer pressure. Peer pressure not correctly responded to can lead to stress. Stress not released properly can be released onto others in the form of bullying. D.A.R.E. helps us to report the bullying, respond correctly to peer pressure, and to properly release stress. That way we can stop the cycle from repeating over and over again. Lastly, I will make and take a pledge. I pledge that from now on I will report bullying, correctly respond to peer pressure, and release stress properly. I pledge to help others do the same so they won't begin the cycle and make it repeat. Now, I dare you to do the same.
Next, we have Kassam of Baton.
With great power comes great responsibility. So you have the power to listen, and I will explain to you how to be responsible. Also, I'm going to summarize what I learned in D.A.R.E. I'm going to tell you what D.A.R.E. is. It helps kids understand their choices and decisions to make. General ideas for D.A.R.E. are peer pressure, decision-making, bullying, and responsibility. Now I'm going to tell you what I learned. The first lesson I learned in D.A.R.E. which was really important, is responsibility. An example of responsibility is taking care of your pet or doing your homework on time. Another big one is positive choice thinking. An example of this is if someone asks you to smoke, you would say no. One more lesson is peer pressure. There's good and bad peer pressure. I'm going to tell you the bad one. An example would be if your friends are doing something bad, if you want to join or tell. There is many other topics we covered in there, but I just named a few. The 5 W's was a good one too. This information was important to me because we have learned a lot of info about growing up. It makes us more mature. These all going along of being a good citizen. I'll make good choices and being a better person in general.
Next, we have Austin Corson.
If you want to keep it real, listen to these important messages about D.A.R.E. D.A.R.E stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. The D.A.R.E program is an educational program that teaches young people to make the right decisions and not to make the wrong decisions. I participated in D.A.R.E because I wanted to learn about ways to prevent drugs, bullying, and underage smoking and drinking. Now let me talk to you about the most meaningful topics I learned in D.A.R.E class this year. I'm going to talk to you about stress. If you are stressed, you could be mad, frustrated, or emotional. Signs of stress are sweaty palms, chittering teeth, and your face can turn red. I get stressed when I don't understand a topic at school. Now I'm going to talk to you about smoking. Cigarettes contain tobacco. Tobacco is not good for you because it contains nicotine, a highly addictive chemical. In other words, smoking is very addictive. Cigarettes can cause yellow teeth and smelly breath. I don't like being around people who smoke because it's not good for me to breathe in. Lastly, I'm going to talk to you about bullying. There are 4 types of bullying: cyberbullying, social bullying, physical bullying, and verbal bullying. If you witness bullying, tell a trusted adult the 5 W's of bullying. Who was being bullied, what happened, when did they get bullied, where were they bullied, and why are they getting bullied. I personally don't like to see people being bullied or hear about people being bullied. All of these topics are important in life. That is because if you didn't know any of this information, you could be stuck making the wrong decisions and getting in trouble. The information affects others because if you learn these topics now, you will live a good life in the future. If you follow the rules and treat others the way you want to be treated, you will live a safe and happy life. Everything I learned in D.A.R.E class will be transferred to my real life situations. I will report to whoever is necessary if I see someone smoking or drinking alcohol underage, sharing prescription drugs, or if someone is being bullied. I hope I taught you a great deal of information about D.A.R.E.
Next, we have Hannah. I don't know why.
Knowledge can lead to a better future, a greater one. It can help your decisions end in the right result, and D.A.R.E helps with those. For an example, if your friend asks you to smoke with them for fun, then you see the consequences of the action and what it can lead to, such as heart disease, and they could rapidly become addicted. Then you know the right choice, and because of what you know, your future will then improve. Or if someone asks you to have a beer with them, you remind yourself of the problems it may lead to, such as memory loss or the fact that it can sit on the brain. Then again, it leads to brilliant decisions, all because of knowledge, because you know. Or how about medications? D.A.R.E are the things that should be checked with medicine, with the warning label, the uses, all of it is important, for over-the-counter medicine and prescription. So that's basically what D.A.R.E is, a way of preparing you for choices and decisions in your life you may have to make, with helpful information that can help prevent the making of bad decisions alone. And D.A.R.E is all about that, because that's basically the point of it, to prepare you for your life, for your future.
Next, we have Amber Price.
I try not to think. It interferes with being nuts. Okay, I don't mean to interrupt, but maybe, Leo, you should think, because in drug abuse resistance education, or D.A.R.E, you might just maybe want to use your brain, but you have a whole book series about it, nobody wants to listen. Now, you don't have to ask, I know what you are thinking. Cool, but what is D.A.R.E? Well, D.A.R.E is where you learn things like peer pressure, drugs, abusing medicine, stress, communication, and bullying. I'll teach you some of these things and give examples. Okay, first we will talk about stress. I know, everyone's favorite, right? You can turn red, mumble, start vibrating, or your heart rate will increase. Stress can happen when you are furious, nervous, scared, or excited. An example is at competition this year, our group was moved up a level than we were supposed to be in. So I was very jumpy and stressed. Now, let's talk about abusing medicine. This means you take more medicine than you should, and so you don't get hurt. Read the box or medicine container. An example is, my mom is a nurse and she sees an extremely high amount of patients there than there should be at the hospital for that very reason. And finally, let's talk about D.A.R.E, decision making. When using D.A.R.E decision making, use these steps: define, assess, respond, and evaluate. An example, I use D.A.R.E decision making to either go to dance or the prison. No, I know you're like, so what, or who cares? Well, in the future, problems like these will come up, and you need to know how to handle them. Now, for the pledge. I pledge to not abuse medicine, stand up for bullying, and will not ever smoke. I swear this on the river of Styx.
And next we have Carter Mitchell.
Alright. Hello, everybody. Alright. There is an educational program that teaches you about alcohol, drugs, pressure, bullying, and cigarettes. I participated in D.A.R.E to learn about drugs, pressure, and bullying. D.A.R.E stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. If you see someone smoking a cigarette, walk away before they ask you to have one. This leads to peer pressure. Peer pressure is good and bad, but most of the time it will hurt or harm you. For example, if someone says you want a beer, say, "No, my mom would kill me." If that doesn't work, just look at your phone and say, "My mom wants me home." Yeah, wants me home. Peer pressure can also lead to bullying. There is 4 types of bullying: cyberbullying, physical bullying, verbal bullying, and social bullying. Cyberbullying is like sending a mean text to a friend. Well, not a friend, but physical bullying is when someone kicks or punches somebody. Social bullying is when someone is being left out of a group or team. Verbal bullying is when someone is talking mean about someone or calling them names. Things that are bad for you, like cigarettes, alcohol, or drugs. Cigarettes are bad because they give you lung cancer, smelly breath, and has nicotine, a very addicting chemical. Drugs can be good or bad. Good drugs like aspirin or ibuprofen help you, but bad drugs can make you act different and could hurt you. D.A.R.E was a good program that will help me through my future and hopefully you too. My pledge was, I, Arden Mitchell, pledge to never drink, smoke, or take drugs because I know what it can do to me.
All the students did a great job on their reports, and those 6 are a perfect example of that. The last group of people I'd like to thank are the ones who make my job as the D.A.R.E officer very easy, and that's the staff here at Mark Twain. That begins with your principal, Mrs. Lee Marker. And the 5th grade teachers, Mrs. DeMott, Mrs. E, and Mr. Randall. It's time for you guys to receive their certificates, and we will begin with Mrs. DeMott's class.
All right, Jenna Isaacs. Gavin Atkinson. Gavin. Shelby Bettendorf. Nick Bretz. Emily Burke. Kyle Clary. Audie Curry. Brandy Dean. Dylan DeShane. Alec Friedland. Noah Hardacre. Olivia Howard. Braden McCreary. William McEllia. Arden Mitchell. Amber Price. Dustin Service. Devin Slacker. Taylor Trent. Candace Bolte. Isaac Winter. Kaylee Upchurch.
Have a good summer. Have a great summer.
Next, we have Mrs. Eaton.
Alex Atkins. Hannah Alnabali. Braden Albright. Lacey Baker. Damian Cross. Austin Culbertson. Peyton Eberhardt. Lacey Favorite. Bailey Hamilton. Brock Harris. Jesse Hastings. Tristan Hicks. Anna Jenks. Kaylin Lettner. Braden McConnell. Mariah Moon. Teresa Reyes. Devin Seibert. Sean Turner. Aiden Tussey. Tristan Wasson. Jonte Weeks. Lenicia Wilson.
And Mr. Reynolds.
Brianna Ashley. Emily Bentley. Chance Cadeau. Chase Constable. Tasia Espinoza. Keon Evans, Madison Graham, Molly Hogan, Landon Kelly, Dakota King, Angelina Lindemood, Thor Livesey, Anna Long, Timmy Madlinger, Sam Matthews, Christopher McCormick, Abby Moore, Alexis Robertson, Zachary Roselle, Alex Shackelford, Luke Williams, Amia Wilson, Riley Woodford, and Corbin Wooten.
And let's give our graduates one last round. The last thing we'll do as part of our D.A.R.E graduation is have a short little video to show you of D.A.R.E classes here at Mark Twain. Once again, you guys did a great job this year. Have a safe and happy summer, and I'll see you guys next year. And thanks again for everyone coming out today. Thank you.
And 1 second, we have a student here who would like to speak a minute.
Thank you, Officer Doug, for coming to Mark Twain every Tuesday for the D.A.R.E Association and coming for lunch and recess. Mark Twain would like to thank you with a gift card.